Good morning, everybody. How we doing? It is a Monday morning, July 8th, 6:32 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think I'm going to move to LA because all the good sports teams are out there. The weather is way better than this rainy day we got going on right now. Nah, I'm just kidding. You can see I got the Yankee shirt on. I'm not going anywhere. Plus, I like the rain, so we're all good. It's just the New York teams outside of the Yankees suck. And that'll be part of the theme today. But no, we're still talking about the Kawhi Leonard signing with the Clippers, also trading for Paul George. Now the question is, there's a lot of questions around the NBA. One, who's the best team in LA? Who's the best team in the NBA? And I know what Vegas says. Vegas has the Clippers as the favorite now because, it's the most recent news of Kawhi signing there, Paul George going there. But when the Anthony Davis news broke, they were the favorite. So it's always a little recency bias going on. And you always have that when it comes to Vegas. Vegas is more about the lines and the money and all that. But the question is, who is the best team in the NBA right now? And I think it's an interesting question that we pose here on this episode of Dave Talk Sports. Of course, I am your host, Dave Ettinger of CBS Sports Radio Network, and this is Dave Talk Sports, the podcast, episode number 12. So, a crazy weekend in sports. Of course, the main headline, we're already talking about it. You also had a big soccer weekend. For all my soccer fans out there, just hang on, hang tight. We're going to get to it. But the NBA, I mean, for years it was Warriors, Cavs, Warriors, Cavs, Warriors. We knew what was going to happen, right? We knew that the Warriors, barring major injury, which is what happened this year, were going to win. And I'm sorry, I keep saying it to the Raptors. There's no asterisk on it. You won the finals. You won the championship. Kawhi Leonard did his thing there. But the Warriors at full strength are not losing to anybody. Sorry. So now you have parity in the NBA. That's going to make the regular season a little bit more fun because the regular season used to be absolutely useless. And it's going to make the postseason that much more fun. So the question I pose to you guys, you can drop a comment in the YouTube section right here. You can get at me on Twitter at DaveEttinger2. You can follow me and leave comments on my website, DaveTalkSports.com, or you can get me on my Facebook page, Dave Talk Sports, as well. So a lot of places to find me. I'm easy to find. Like I said, I'm not moving to LA, but I need some better sports teams here, right? So in the wake of the Paul George trade, you have Russell Westbrook basically left just holding a bag of money and not much else. It's Russell Westbrook, it's Steven Adams, it's a pretty good general manager in Sam Presti, but it's looking like they're heading towards a rebuild. So Russell Westbrook, the clear loser in this year's free agency. I mean, I'm sorry, man. He'll almost, again, barring injury, assuredly average another triple-double if he stays in OKC. And that's the other question I pose to everybody today on the podcast is, does Russell Westbrook start the season with Oklahoma City? Does he finish this season with Oklahoma City? I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you. I can give you my prediction. I'll tell you I think he's going to get traded. It may not be before the year. It may be during the year. But I think sometime before the end of this season, I think that Russell Westbrook is wearing a different uniform. Now, that brings me to the team that I root for. Another crappy team, the New York Knicks. All right, let's take this one step at a time. The Knicks suck. The Knicks haven't had a player the talent level of Russell Westbrook since when Melo first got here. Now, he's a very different type of player. Melo was never going to average a triple-double for a season. Anyone who knows basketball should know that. But the talent level, because Melo's a Hall of Famer. Whether you love him, hate him, just think he's okay, just think he could only give you points and that was it, and he was one-dimensional. I don't care what you think. Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Famer. Plain and simple. But he and Westbrook's games are very different. So Westbrook coming to the Knicks obviously makes them better. But it's not a free agent signing. It would be a trade. And Westbrook's making a boatload of money over the next couple of years. So having a talent like Westbrook, of course, where do I sign? But that's not all it is. How do I get him? What do I have to give up to get him? And the answer to that question is half your team, a handful of picks. It's just not worth it. So the Knicks should not trade for Russell Westbrook. It's that simple. Don't do it. Okay? Russell Westbrook should be traded to a team that is one piece away. A team that is willing to give up a young player that's not helping their team right now, plus some first-round picks, plus whatever they have to do. If they have to make the salaries match, yeah, you give up some depth and rotational players, but that team would probably be ending up with 2 superstars, maybe 3 superstars, and become a title contender. So a team like that should do that. Again, I don't know where he's going to go. There's these faint rumors of the Rockets. Now, if they could somehow make that work financially, that's what I'm talking about, a team like that. I just don't think that's going to happen. The Heat have been rumored, that maybe the Mavericks. There's a couple of different teams being floated out there. I'm not sure where Russell Westbrook's going, but it better not be to Madison Square Garden. Please, stop. So the question, though, that I posed before is, who's the best team in the NBA now? All right. Not all the rosters are complete and full, but they're getting there. They're starting to round out. So as we talked about on Saturday, the Lakers had to kind of scramble, and they did really well for themselves. They probably did better than the Knicks in the 12 minutes after the Kawhi Leonard signing than the Knicks did in all of free agency so far. It's just ridiculous. They get a flyer on DeMarcus Cousins, which I told you on Saturday is just a good move. It's just smart. Yeah, but 1 year, not that much money. What do you have to lose? You can return to form halfway through the season. He becomes part of a big 3. He just does. The Lakers already have Kyle Kuzma. They bring Rondo back on a 1-year deal to play point guard again. If he can stay healthy, that's a good signing. Bring back JaVale McGee. Bring back Caruso add some depth. Caldwell Pope. Not superstars, not even stars, but just adding decent depth. Okay? I like those moves. Then you look at the Clippers. Obviously adding Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. They still have Lou Williams. They have Harrell. They got some pieces there. It's Patrick Beverly re-signed there. So the battle in LA is going to be awesome. It's awesome for the NBA to have 2 of the top 5 teams in the NBA in the same city, in the same stadium, in that same arena. And I think they're the 2 favorites right now in Vegas to win the title. I still think Golden State is going to compete once Klay Thompson is healthy in about 8 months. And out of the East, you got to like the Bucks still. I know they lost Malcolm Brogdon to the Pacers. But Giannis is only going to get better. He's young. He's an awesome talent. If he ever learns how to shoot, like really shoot, crazy. Best player in the world, hands down. And I'm not sure. The Celtics are still pretty good. Can Tatum take another step forward? Can Gordon Hayward play better? And they bring in Kemba Walker. How will he fit? The Nets eventually will be a title contender, but not until after next year when Kevin Durant is fully healthy. And I do like the 76ers and that roster that they've built. So I think you're looking at Bucks, Sixers in the East, Clippers, Lakers, and Warriors in the West. A lot of people are giving props to the Jazz. While they're a good team, while they're a potentially very good roster, I like the move they did in getting Mike Conley. They're going to be good, but they're not title contenders. They're not. We know the Rockets aren't built. They don't have what it takes. They just don't. So I think it's a 5-team race right now, barring injury. We'll see what happens, but I think the NBA, with this trade and Kawhi Leonard not going to the Lakers, makes the NBA so much more fun. It's unbelievable. And who knew that Twitter at 2 a.m. on a Saturday morning could be so much fun? I certainly didn't, because I'm usually asleep by that time. But NBA equals fun and equals parity. Again, didn't think I was going to say that with the Warriors dynasty going on as I hit major bumps on the Williamsburg Bridge. Don't need a flat tire. Just bear with me as you always join me on my commute home. It's 6:42 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, July 8th. I am your host, Dave Ettinger of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. I am of CBS Sports Radio Network. This is where I'm on my way home from. I'm going straight to sleep once I get this on YouTube. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel right below the video. And please follow me on Twitter at Dave Ettinger 2, because number 1 and just my name were both taken. So here I am. You can find me on Facebook on my Dave Talk Sports page and also on my website, DaveTalkSports.com. Now we transition to soccer. Some of you may hit pause, switch to another video on YouTube, or go do something else because you don't like soccer. But it was a big weekend in soccer, right? The men's national team was playing Mexico in the Gold Cup finals, and the women were playing in their third consecutive final in the World Cup. And they were looking to win their second straight title. And as I predicted, they did, and they won. They beat Netherlands 2-0. They commanded this match. They commanded this entire tournament. They were by far the best team on the field, as you call the pitch. Not a big soccer guy, but they were awesome. They were awesome. Megan Rapinoe had the most goals. She was their best player throughout this tournament. The goalkeeper was fantastic. Alex Morgan is tremendous. A lot of players out there, just, if I forget anyone's name, Rose Lavelle, just, they were all fantastic. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry. But this brings me to the conversation of equal pay. Okay? It's a big, hot button issue. It is, and it should be, because it's ridiculous that, listen, in the world, I know there's inequality, discrimination in all different walks of life. I fully get it. And I believe that you should be paid based on your performance, based on revenue, based on all the things that make sense, that bring logic, right? Assuming the playing fields are all even and equal for everybody. The world doesn't always work like that. And that is the same case for the difference between the men's national team and the women's national team in soccer. The facilities, the things that the women's team is afforded to work with in training, while their facilities are far ahead of other countries in the world, so that's why one of the reasons why they've been so much better than other countries in their sport, doesn't make it right that all their facilities and money and things they have available to them compared to the men's team here, why there's inequality there, it makes absolutely no sense, and it's ridiculous. But when we look at just strictly numbers and money and revenue, because that's the main conversation here, if I have one league or one team, because this is a conversation of one league, we're talking about U.S. soccer, it's joint, and then they're paying out salaries based on revenue to the men and to the women. And there's been multiple reports out there, and there's now a lawsuit being filed by 28 of the women's players against U.S. soccer for why they're not getting equal pay against the men. And I'm telling you, not only do they deserve equal pay, they deserve more pay. And this is because they're actually bringing in more revenue. They're bringing in more money than the men. It has a lot to do with their success, right? If they weren't winning back-to-back World Cups, I don't know that they'd be bringing in the same amount of revenue, but it's hypothetical. I have no idea. But even before the second World Cup in a row, they were already bringing in more revenue. So imagine now, between ticket sales and jersey sales and everything else that's about to happen with this World Cup championship, it's not even going to be close. And the men's team is getting better. They have young talent. Pulisic is unbelievable. But they're not as good compared to the rest of the world as the women's team. Simple as that, straight facts. It's just a fact. You're not going to see the men's team in the World Cup anytime soon, in the finals. They didn't even qualify for the World Cup last time. And you got the women winning back-to-back World Cups. Now, money doesn't always come just from winning. But the facts are there. The women are bringing in more revenue than the men. It's simple as that. Why they're not earning the same, if not more, than the men is unbelievable, and it's not fair. Something has to be done about this, and I hope they win their lawsuit, and I hope this becomes a fair and equal revenue share, or the women make more because they're bringing in more. And that's the way it should be. But for now, celebrate, enjoy, and then take care of this lawsuit. So congratulations to the women's national soccer team for winning their second consecutive World Cup, the only team ever to do that. So congratulations. Now, to another female athlete, Coco Gauff. I've been talking about her for a couple days now, and today's the day. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's playing in the fourth round. That's right, a 15-year-old playing in the fourth round of Wimbledon against Simona Halep. I told you on Saturday, I think the Cinderella story is over. I think she's going to lose to Simona Halep, but I'm hoping that I'm wrong because I'm rooting for her in a big way. All right, so very quickly, we have to move on to some baseball. We're heading into the All-Star break, and most teams have played between 85, 90, around 90 games. All right, so we're a little bit past the halfway point. And I've talked about them a lot, but the New York Mets, just disaster, sheer embarrassment. I mean, again, I'm a Yankee fan, but it doesn't matter. I'm just being honest with you. I'm always objective and honest, and it's just who I am. I think it, and it just comes out. The Mets suck, all right? Whether you're a fan or not, you should be able to acknowledge that. Mickey Callaway, maybe he's trying to save some face and try to save his job, buy himself some time. I don't know what. Maybe he's being told to say these things by Van Wagen or the organization. I don't know. But for him yesterday to come out after they lose another baseball game, they're now 40-50, 10 games under 500. They're the second worst team record-wise in all of the National League, only to the Marlins. And I got Mickey Callaway telling me that they could climb into the wild card, they could climb back into this division. The season's not over, there's a long way to go. Mickey. You're going to have Mets fans driving off bridges like I'm on right now. What are you doing? I know. Sometimes managers have to lie. They got to say things that they're coached to say. But this makes no sense to me. So save your lies. Save your bull crap. Save your awkward laugh. Just save it all. Save it all. Take it home. Start looking in the help wanted section because you're going to need a new job really, really soon. Hopefully someone will be dumb enough to bring you back as a pitching coach. I don't know. The Mets are I can't even speak. They're an utter failure, disaster, clown show, train wreck. You picked the term. That's what the Mets are. It's ridiculous. They should be removing Edwin Diaz from the closer role, selling off anything they can. Pretend it's a sinking ship, and if you don't throw stuff overboard, you're going to sink. And if you throw everything off but the people, maybe you'll stay afloat and you'll survive. That's what the Mets should be. They should be selling anything that's not tied down. Anything that anybody will take and you can get something for. Anything for. Some young prospects. Anything to build towards the future. Because right now, there's no now. There's no present and there's no future right now. Unless you build towards one by being sellers at the trade deadline. You have to be. Anything else is irrational, irresponsible, and anyone involved in that decision should be fired. Now, lastly, really quick, collision at home plate between Jake Marisnick of the Astros trying to score in a 10-10 tied game late, I believe it was in the bottom of the 8th inning, against the Angels catcher Jonathan Lucroy. Gets a one-hopper thrown on a sac fly. Marisnick's trying to tag up from third, coming from right field. It's a one-hop, bang-bang play where Marisnick tries to change directions and scoot towards the left. Looked like he was trying to somehow get around Lucroy and dive towards the edge of the plate. Just absolutely bowls over Lucroy. It looks really bad. Lucroy, I believe, is actually knocked unconscious at one point. Marisnick immediately got up and went to check on him as soon as he could. And he said after the game, he gave an explanation of what he was trying to do and why the collision happened. They review this play. Lucroy doesn't hold on to the ball. Marisnick touches home plate, yet he's called out. I don't want Lucroy to be hurt. I don't want anyone to be hurt, and that's why they changed the rules when Buster Posey's leg got broken, and I get why it happened. But it's a joke. It's a joke. He's safe. It wasn't intentional. There's a bang-bang play where these guys are professional athletes running full speed, and you want them to change directions at the last second when he's just trying to score? In a 10-10 tie late in a game? Come on. Give me a break. And I always love when officials review calls and they still get them wrong. And that's what this was. I hope for the best for Lucroy. I hope he doesn't have a broken nose or a concussion. And I hope he doesn't have any lasting effects of this collision because it was pretty bad. But it's a joke. I'll post a link to the video on Twitter when I'm done. Maybe I'll share the YouTube link if I can find it as well. Just an embarrassment. All around. So, a lot happening over the weekend. Wish I had more time to cover it with you, but I'm almost home, which means I gotta go. I'm Dave Ettinger of CBS Sports Radio Network, your host of the Dave Talk Sports podcast, as a truck almost runs me off the road. Thanks, pal. And it's time for me to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. This has been episode number 12. Hope you enjoyed. Find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, website. You come, I'll give you my address, my phone number. You come find me at home, wherever you can find me, find me. Till tomorrow, I'm your host, the Dave Talk Sports podcast, Dave Ettinger. See you.